Taval. Taval. Arbiter of virtue. Taval. Alright. This is gonna be an interesting one. Taval, Arbiter of Virtue. Although we should go over the precons at some point. There's a specific format I want for precon upgrades, though. When I have the full power of the OBS, the Stream Deck XL, that's when I'll make that video. But I do want to do, a top cards in Tarkir Dragonstorm, as well as a It's my handy dandy piece of paper. Nowhere to be found. All over the place, if anything. There's too many magic cards all over my desk. Alrighty. Let's see. I gotta open up the old journal book here. Actually, happy that I've implemented some of these actual ideas. Alright. You know, one thing I never do is, like, I'll write down an idea and then try to, like, deal with them. And then, like, I'll find, like, a new journal to, like, write more ideas and stuff in. And I never actually go back and go like, oh yeah, wait, I actually did do that thing that I set out to do. Crazy. And you know, chat, you should just do that every now and then. Every now and then, you should just be like, hey, I did complete that task. Cool. I'm not the worst. Where the hell? Oh. Okay. Pen. Pen that works. Okay. What is that? Why are you there? Oh. Do I normally have chat there? Oh, it's because there we go. Hi. How you doing, chat? Okay. Taval, Arbiter of Virtue. This is gonna be a weird one. Spells you cast have delve. What do I do about this? What do we do with this? I Wobbler, harness the power of Taval and of ADHD. Yeah. Taval, Arbiter of Virtue, eh? This is gonna be a weird one. Alright, let's start setting up what I gotta set up for all the stuff. The Baitor YouTube video is up, by the way, chat. It'd be really cool if you would check that out. I'll post a copy of it in post a copy of it in the chat, but it would be really cool if you went and gave the little look-see, gave it a little view, little thumbs up, little like. We do your favorite, of course, Mesmeric Orb. Gods, I say. It's so irritating. But I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. As much as I wish you were wrong, and as much as I hate that you're right, we do quite literally need Mesmeric Orb. And I hate that. Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, yes, we do need Mesmeric Orb. So at the very least, we have to talk about why we want these cards, right? Like, why do we need these? Why do we want Mesmeric Orb? For someone who's never played Magic before, but they like this cool, sexy dragon, you know, what does it mean to, like, self-mill yourself, right? We're gonna figure that out today. But first, open Scryfall. There's a couple different arts for Tabal too. There's definitely one I like the most. I don't know. I think I like this one the most, actually, the one that you see on screen. The other one is too weird. Alrighty, chat. 6/6 flyer for 5 mana, insane. It's a good start. Fortunately, Tabal wants to work the opposite of how I like to Sultai, which is what? Which is what? Explain yourself. Is this Sultai not good enough for you? Alright. Scoop. Face. How you doing? Alright. Scoop face. Scoop kid never leaves a scoop. I like to Sultai where Mulch is a good spell. Tabal wants Big Blast of Dedicated Mill. Correct. Yes. This is true. Tabal wants the type of mill that I'm also not, or the type of Sultai I'm not particularly the most fond of. I definitely prefer the, Sidisi / other Tabal sort of like incremental mill, and incremental ism. But, I mean, yes, Tabal wants a big blast of mill, which is fine. But, like, also, I mean, the spell, Delve only answers, like, the colorless part of your spells. And you're in green, black, and blue, which are, I mean, pretty color-intensive spells, typically. So, like, one Hedron Crab, like, 1 mill from a Hedron Crab can kind of get you, like, probably everything that you want to cast in your hand at that time. Like early game or whatever. Although, this is 5 mana, but still, like, it only answers so much before you can start just, like, comboing off. I'm sure you'll be fine. Alrighty. Alright, chat, how do we make it feel like you lost to a Tabal deck, huh? Need to look up 7 CMC spells, 1 color pip. I mean, that's not a bad, like, call, right? Like, that's not that would make a pretty unique experience, in all honesty, right? Yeah? Alright, let's do the thing. Let's see how quickly we can do this. And by quickly we can do this, I mean like how well can I stay on topic to the point where we actually get a thing done. Yeah. I mean 40 mil cast exsanguinate losing to Taval. Simply have 41 life. Or 43 life. Duh. It is weird that this dragon doesn't have lifelink. Oh no, it does have lifelink. Okay, yeah. No, it has lifelink. You'll be fine. Been there, done that. True. We've both been there, and we have both done that. Is very true. All right. Let's. Oh, okay. All right. Let's do the thing. Where are we? Am I ready to go? Read the cards. Similar commanders. Let me clear those away. Pop. Oh, yes. Reset. Yes, of course. Screens. Read card. Hello? There we go. Okay. That's crazy. Alright. If you're not on that high life, exsanguinate X20, deal 20, gain 60, puts you in a hell of a position. Correct. Yes, it does. Or we could vial. What's the thing? What's the Sultai thing? We could do the. You know the card I mean. The Sultai card from OG. Villainous Wealth. We could also just Villainous Wealth for X2. I think making it like a pseudo Mizzix X typo deck would be pretty interesting, to be honest with you. In fact, that might be one of the first commanders that we look at in terms of just like similar commanders, yeah? Does that seem fair? Seems fair to me. Alright. Just going through similar commanders, this thing, that thing. Okay, cool. We're ready to go. It's Jake from Buffalo, bro. Good to see you. Hey, Jake. Good to see you. Well, you know me from Buffalo. Good to see you, Jake. How you been? How you doing? Moxfield. Moxfield.com. Yeah. Alright. Let's make a brand new deck. New deck. It's going to be Taval, Arbiter of Virtue? Taval, Arbiter of Virtue, yes. Okay, Arbiter of Virtue. Arbiter of Virtue. Blue, black, green. Alright, just create that so we're ready to go for when we're on this screen. Tons of Commander with Cam and Luke. You still in the 7-6? Hell yeah, absolutely. And I'm glad that you're still playing Commander with Cam and Luke. Please tell them I say hello. Cozy, no idea how to play Taval. No idea how I played Taval. Alright, Cozy, well, that's what we're going to explore today. So, let's head right on over to the beginning. I think Rowan is closer than Mizzix. Both. Cruel Entertainment. Ooh, okay. Well, chat, let's dive into, let's just dive on into Taval. Oh, I just had to write something down. And, Okay. All right. Let's go. So, 𝔹𝕃. Oh, hit the record button. Haha. 𝔹𝕃, Arbiter of Virtue. 2 black, green, and a blue. Legendary creature, Spirit Dragon. A 6/6 with flying, lifelink, and spells you cast have delve. Whenever you cast a spell, you lose life equal to its mana value. And of course, delve is each card you exile from your graveyard while casting this spell costs 1 less. Or, just pays for one of the generic ones. So, yeah, alright. A 5-mana 6/6 dragon with flying and lifelink. Flying lifelink on a 6/6 body is already just decent, right? Just already perfectly fine. But of course... Excuse me. Of course, the biggest thing is spells you cast having delve. That is quite amazing. So, whenever you cast a spell, you lose life equal to its mana value. So, the way they stop you from just, immediately going off in some, outrageously gross way is that even if you're paying for the delve cost and you're reducing, paying for the one of the generics, you still lose life. You lose the full value. So, if you made Exsanguinate X equals, 50 and then black, it would still cost you 52 life, and that would happen. You would lose that life and lose probably before the actual card gets cast. So you do have to be pretty careful with 𝔹𝕃, Arbiter of Virtue, right? Pretty decently, very careful. Can I request commanders to review? Once we're out of Tarkir Dragonstorm, yes. So probably, considering our pace of moving through these, probably, next week, I think we can start just doing commander reviews by request and everything. And I have to actually make sure that the commander reviews have a certain look to them too, because right now we're not reviewing commanders. We're giving a decent rundown of how to build a 𝔹𝕃 Arbiter of Virtue deck. So, we've read the card, alright. So, of course, chat, you know how it is. The next thing we go over to is, do I do a full deck list? Yes. We go over to similar commanders. So, the first question we want to answer is, what commanders are similar to this 𝔹𝕃, right? What other commanders have we seen that share in 𝔹𝕃's theme? I think the first thing is each spell you cast has delve, right? Is there anything else that's like that? Tasigur seems like a first thought. Tasigur himself has delve, but I feel honestly that's kind of where that ends, where that similarity ends, other than of course being the leader of the Sultai. But giving all spells you cast, control, whatever, a specific ability. What is like that? I think we had a really good one. No cards like 𝔹𝕃. There are cards that are similar to delve. Titan's Nest. Well, specifically commanders. Specifically commanders is what we're looking for. So I like the Wobbler. You had the suggestion of Rowan. And I actually think that's pretty on point. Rowan, Scion of War. It's a pretty good one, I would say. Boo. Rowan, Scion of War. Right, so, 1 black and red, 4/2, with Menace, and tap spells you cast this turn that are black and or red cost X less to cast, where X is the amount of life you lost this turn, activate only as a sorcery. That's pretty, that's a similar vibe, So we would, if we look at Rowan and see what kind of, cards she has in her deck, and, what black cards are in there that make you win the game, that might be something that we want for 𝔹𝕃, right? That's a similar S commander, right? Master of Keys. Master of Keys. X and Esper, when it enters the battlefield, put X +1/+1 counters and mill twice X cards. Each enchantment card in your graveyard has Escape. The Escape cost is equal to that card's mana cost plus exile 3 other cards from your graveyard. You're not casting stuff from your graveyard. with this one. First of all, I know my first guess was Mizzix of the 𝔹𝕃ℂ𝔻 in terms of like a universal all like everything that you're casting now costs an whatever you worked for it, you worked for the experience counters on the side, sure, but every spell you're casting costs like X less because of this ability. Kess Dissonant Mage. One in Grixis 3/4 flyer. During each of your turns, you may cast an instant or sorcery spell from your graveyard. If a spell cast this way would be put into your graveyard exile instead. I don't think. I mean, in terms of like probably self-milling, just like a little bit with Kess, I kind of get what you mean. I don't think it's a similar commander. I think let's look at I think the spells you cast have delve. I think that's kind of Wart, the root mother. Wart, is that kind of each green and red has conspire. That's kind of similar, right? In terms of just like something. A commander that has suddenly augmented all of your spells. Carador, in the sense that creatures in the graveyard resources unto themselves. A mana source for casting Carador. Okay, I can kind of see that. I can kind of see that. I see what you're saying. Yeah, the spell costs 1 less to cast for each creature card in your graveyard. Once during each of your turns, you may cast a creature spell from your graveyard. I see what you're saying. I think the spell reduction is definitely the global quote unquote spell reduction for you is covered by Rowan and Mizzix, right? Just in terms of like all the things that you want to cast they just cost less, just straight up. And then Wart, the raid mother, is like, hey, the spells on the stack that you're casting now have this extra ability, which will be Conspire. I feel Arami of the Dread Tide is also something that gets me to agree for sure. Arumi. Yeah, exile card in your graveyard. Basically, target creature in your card in your graveyard gets encore. So giving encore to your deck is, it's a pretty interesting vibe for sure. I still think Wart the Raid Mother in terms of spells on the stack. Right, spells on the stack will have conspiracy now with Wart, and spells you cast on the stack have delve. Although we probably do want a commander that does manage a lot of self mill, so we can kind of have self mill in mind. Just finished building mono red energy with drift already. Damn, that's crazy. That's sick, Marcus. Who's a really good Sultai self-mill commander? I mean, I think that's when Tasigur. I think that's the axis that Tasigur is on, right? Just a little bit more wobbler, because it's let's find a Sultai commander. Yeah, it's Tasigur and Muldrotha. Let's find a Sultai commander that is specifically trying to put cards into their graveyard, and then manipulate from there. Yeah. I'm thinking Tasigur. It's on theme. It's on theme for what we're trying to do. Okay. So, similar commanders. We have Rowan, Sign of War, in terms of spells you cast costing less and losing life. All of that wrapped in one. Tasigur, the Golden Fang, someone who wants Delve, a Sultai character specifically, that wants to mill themselves, get a bunch of cards in their graveyard, and then ideally selectively, delve some of these things away. And then Mizzix of the 𝔹𝕃ℂ𝔻 is on here because she gives you, something that you're working for, experience counters, and then just making your win con, whatever it is, just simply cost that much less. And that's kind of a similar thing that we're trying to do with Taval here. We want to cast spells for, free in a big giant air quotes way, and then still end up with the win there somehow. And I mean, Mizzix knows how to win off of spells costing not what they're supposed to. All right, Hamza, what was that? The new Dragon Precon Commander, Aruni, Areni? No. Zelix? Hamza, Guardian of something? Oh, Guardian of Arashin! Yeah, creature spells cost 1 less to cast for each creature you control with +1/+1 counter on it. That's fair, that's fair. Zelix? I've never heard of this card. This is the D&D deck. Okay. Whenever a player mills 1 or more creature cards, you create a 1/1 horror creature token. Target player mills 3 cards. I mean, that's not bad. Right. It's fine. Okay, alright. So we have our similar commanders, right? So then on to the next question is, who wants this commander, right? What type of person, or, you know, what is someone who is playing Taval trying to get out of Magic the Gathering, right? So what type of person is playing Taval or wants to build Taval? Hamza can make Eldrazi's cost nothing. That's very true. Taval the balance scale, yeah. Taval the balance scale would like to be in here. But yes, who wants this commander? Degenerate things? Degens. Okay. Sure. Step 1, degens. I like it. Absolute genius. Make artifacts potentially free. Yeah. Free real not free real estate. Who's the not hoarders. Who are the people who like they buy people's like little warehouses. They're cargo shippers, right? Who buys people's cargo containers and then sells them? People who don't rewind rented videotapes? Damn, that's fucked up. That's degens. We already covered that. People who stop reading card before the last line of text? True. People who stop reading before the last line? Uh-huh. People with no sense of consequence? People living on the edge, right? Hey, BG Taser, good to see you, friend. Voltron Forces. Voltron Forces. Life game players who actually want to do something for once. Yeah, life game that wants to win. Witherbloom players that actually want to do life game. The life is a resource player. True. The life. The players that do the conquest, I'm so lonely. All the other commander players think I'm unstable. People who turn with no blinker. Yo, for sure, actually. Yes. Oh my god, yes. People who turn with no blinkers go so hard here. People whose favorite card is Platinum Angel. Oh my god, people who can finally... Oh my god. People who can actually make, like, have a deck where Platinum Angel works. Honestly, so true. Oh my gosh. Angel Enjoyers. Yeah. What's a good discard deck to play based on Commander? Asking because I want to be toxic. A discard deck to play based on Commander? Any cycling commanders, to be honest with you. Any cycling commanders that have black in them. Platinum Empyrean too. It's literally free. Correct. I actually really like Platinum Empyrean. Platinum Enjoyers. Oh, Star Platinums. Damn it. Anything with Madness. Oh, Anj Falconwrath. BG Taser. Eldrazi Lurkers. Millers. Yeah. I think we have a decent amount here. Degens, people who stop reading before the last line. For sure. For sure. People living on the edge. Yeah. On the razor's edge here. Life as a resource players. People who turn with no blinkers. Platinum enjoyers. Yeah, it's pretty much about... Yeah, that's like pretty on point. That's like super on point here. Alright, Eldrazi Lurkers. God, I mean... Yeah. Okay, the... People who somehow don't like Eldrazi commanders, but still somehow wanted to make an Eldrazi deck, which would, I mean, this would literally be the worst version you could make. Like, the worst Eldrazi deck you could make would be this deck. Instead of, you know, every other Eldrazi commander. Real Eldrazi hipsters. Okay. So, who wants commander? Degens, people who start reading before the last line, people living on the edge, life as a resource players, people who turn with no blinkers, and platinum enjoyers. Indeed. Tabal triggers, yeah. Yep. Alright. Good job, chat. We cleared that one real fast. So then now, we head over to... What is it that... Strange. Oh. Yes. Boop. Nope. Something got fucked up, but it's okay. Oh, did that get fucked up? Did I mess that up? No. Oh. What do we want? Oh, no. I messed it up. Uh-oh. Okay. Well, that's fine. We type in. So, what does the deck want? The deck... wants... Or no, sorry. We ask about what the commander wants first. Yeah, I can't believe I messed that up. It's crazy. It's crazy of me. Alright. So first we ask, what does the commander want? Okay. Yeah, I guess I must have deleted it last time. That's fine. Alright. We rally. Alright. What does the commander want? What does the fox say? Yeah, sorry about that, chat. Just got a little lost in sauce here. Hey, Valvasa. Alright, so the first question we want to know is... Oh, never mind, I fixed it, I guess. Alright, what does the commander want, right? Like, what does... So, reading these abilities right here, right? A 6/6 flying lifelink dragon. Spells you cast have delve. And whenever you cast a spell, you lose life equal to its mana value, right? So, what does... And yes, that's very true, Samuel Perry. There's a lot of cards from the pre-con that can go directly into this deck. So, what does this commander, with this text box right here, what are they asking of you? Life gain? Spells with lots of generic pips? Yes. All true. Okay, so... First and foremost, we have life gain. We have over here. Life gain. All right. This deck, the commander is asking for life gain because, I mean, he acknowledge, like, Taval, she acknowledges that you need to live, right? Lots of generic pips. Yep. Lots of generic pips. Yes. Properties. Yep, lots of generic pips. What is... Sorry. I guess I got, like, a lot of stuff mixed up last time. Yep, lots of generic pips. Because the delve won't take away colors, right? Like, the color cost won't go away. Only the generic cost will, right? So we need to make sure that we have... or that we're largely doing generic costs here, which makes a lot of sense. What else? Anti-graveyard cards? Kicker? Ooh! Kicker's kind of hot. Anything with a big X spell. Yes. Big... or not big X cost, right? Like just X cost. X cost. Not anti, as in ways to protect your grave. Okay, graveyard protection. I don't know how the hell you do that. I'm gonna need chat to tell me how the hell you're supposed to protect your own graveyard from the good shit. What else? What other types of cards? Not specific cards. Xanth, like you gave Aetherflux Reservoir. The deck will want Aetherflux Reservoir, but what will we want? This deck loves Stifles. Oh, yeah. Let's see, Self-Mill. Of course, yes. Graveyard Protection, Self-Mill. What else? What else does the deck want? My goodness, this whole thing has been a mess. What else? Any cards that care when they... Oh, okay. What do we call cards that care when they're being removed from the grave? What? Conrads? Do we just call them Conrad cards? Is that just what they're called? Because I think that's just what they're called, personally. That might just be a me thing. Self-mill ramp. Oh, yeah, one ramp spell equals add one land to your board and exile a card from your graveyard. So that's a very interesting note, actually. That is a very interesting note about this deck. You don't really want mana dorks, right? Nor even mana rocks, because those are a card that stays on your field and you use them, right? You know, forever. But if you get a ramp spell that gets you the land that you need and a card from your graveyard to delve later. So this deck actually does not want mana rocks. This deck does not want mana dorks either. Yeah, rituals? Yeah, rituals? Yeah, we can fuck around. Yeah, rituals. There's only so many in green, blue, black, but I mean, sure. I mean, yeah, like, yeah, for sure. So self-mill, ritual, yeah, ramp. We need ramp spells. There are some dorks we want. We want the dorks that self-mill us. Only those. Only the dorks that self-mill us. Leave the graveyard triggers. LTG triggers is what I've called it. Hopefully that's fine. Leave the graveyard triggers. We want the mana bag creatures like Blood Pet. Do we want Blood Pet? It's almost like worst crick. Yeah. Sacrifice blood pet, add black to your mana pool. We never want to exile blood pet though. We can even do some landfall shenanigans like with Prime Veil for life gain or Druid class. It's almost like worst crick. Yeah, I think we're gonna have some like pretty good passive life gain in here for sure. And I like the idea for Druid class. A dark ritual would go in the grave all the time, right? And that's like one dark ritual. Whereas blood pet, I mean, maybe we do want blood pet, or like, and we're not looking at like specific cards right now, but like, you know, I guess rituals. I mean, yeah, I'll put rituals in here. Rituals. Okay. And what else does the deck want? Oh my goodness, it's such a bother. I don't know what I broke with my text boxes the other day, but I've broken something. All right. What else? Is there anything else? So again, looking at Taval, 6/6 flying lifelink, spells you cast have delve. Whenever you cast a spell, lose life equal to its mana value. What other types of cards do we want? Or like, you know, like Taval wants life gain. Taval wants lots of generic pips to make delve mean something. Taval wants X cost to make the delve mean something. Taval wants graveyard protection so that you can delve cards away. Taval wants self-mill so that you can have a graveyard to delve away. Taval wants ramp, and I think actually ramp is in the wrong category. Ramp is going to be in the deck. Ramp is going to be in deck wants, but not in commander wants. Leaving the graveyard triggers, that's also going to be a deck want. Because Taval specifically, like Taval herself, doesn't care about leaving the graveyard triggers. Nor rituals, I guess, too. Yeah. That's all stuff that the deck will need to facilitate what Taval wants. But Taval herself definitely wants life gain so you don't die. Generic pips so that you can delve them away. X cost so you can delve them, you can delve for a reason. Graveyard protection so you can delve things. And self-mill so that you can delve. This deck definitely wants Sanguine Bond, Village Broker, Blood. Yeah, we'll get to the specific cards in a second. Becomes double-edged sword when you start being targeted because of that HP getting low fiasco. True. Molten turns out to be crazy mana dork as well. He's in 99. Same with Perry. I'm getting you to remember that. I think we're getting into what the deck wants. Yeah, we are. Calling the Weak is good too. For one, he's equal black mana, sacrifice a creature. That is pretty good. Rituals is also not really something the deck wants specifically. It wants instants of sorcery because they inherently go to grave. Right. 100%. Okay, so I think that this answers what the commander wants specifically, right? This is what answers the commander wants. Life gain, lots of generic pips, X cost, graveyard protection, and self-mill. Totally fair. So then now, on to what the deck itself wants, right? Let me pull that up, because this got looking lost. What does the deck want? For some reason it got deleted, but it's here, it's back, don't worry about it. What does the deck want? Boop. What does the deck want, chat? The deck wants, and what were the things that we took out? We said ramp, right? The deck wants ramp specifically, because it needs to be able to put lands into play and have something to exile from the graveyard. What else? It wants 0 cost cards. Yeah. Okay. Sure. There's only so many of those, right? You know what? Even cards that reduce themselves due to other effects, like cards that say like the effects cost 1 less to cast, would not work on Taval. It would still, it would still be the cost, what? Equal to its mana value? Yeah. Low cost ramp protection for Taval, big X cost and generic cost cards and life gain? Yes. Stifles? You want stifles? Maybe dredge for sure. No, 100%. Dredge is one of the best ways to continuously self-mill. right? Like, that's one of the best ways to do that. So, like, specifically dredgers, absolutely. Lay of the land effects. What are those? What's lay of the land? Lay of the land. Search your library for a basic card, put into your hand, and shuffle your library. And it's a sorcery, so like you get a land, it goes to the graveyard. Yeah, I would prefer if it had put it directly into play, you know, even if it's tapped, but you know, that's not bad for a green. If able, maybe dredge, because it'll complement the mill along with recursion. Correct. The good ones are like bushwhack, which is modal. Yep. We'll get to the specific cards in a second. Hermit Druid is a must include for sure. Remember those cards in a second. Right now, we're asking what type of cards the deck wants, right? So, self-mill, right? We kind of have that already. Ramp, specifically, stifles, dredge. Yeah, leave the graveyard triggers. So, some things that things that trigger when you leave the graveyard. And yes, if we want to stifle, ciphers are modal. They either save our graveyard from things like Bajuka Bog, or they are life gain spell that stops us from losing 20 life from Taval. True. Kicker variants, I like that. I like that idea a lot, actually. I like kicker derivatives, which is every mechanic. Silly, every mechanic is a kicker derivative. But yeah, I like that idea of we can spend, you know, exile cards from our graveyard to get the kicker cost on things. That's actually pretty cool. I like that. That's a really good call, AMC. We're gonna find some cool cards that way. Counterspells help protect Taval too, as well, and stuff that exiles graves. Yeah, I think some counterspells are pretty decent. Especially if your counterspell can cost X. You know, not bad. I would either do like blue counterspell cost or like X, like, you know, because you can delve the X away. If we can maybe with Blink, they are blue or black. I know there's not a lot Blink that matches color and soul type. Well, what do we want Blink for? Like you know, what do we want Blink for? Gain lands? No, we want fetch lands. Because one fetch land equals a land from our deck, cool, and another card in our graveyard to delve away. That's pretty sick. Fog-like effects so as well, so we can avoid big damage. Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, fog effects. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, fog effects is a good call. I like fog effects. Use some stuff back from exile. There's only so many cards that take things back from exile, and it's typically like one card at a time, if I remember correctly. So, if you mean like cards that can be cast from exile, there's one colorless one. Can't think of the other ones. I'm sure there's more though. But yes, getting stuff back from exile is like typically on like a one card by one card basis, and we literally don't care enough. We're trying to exile, like we're trying to delve multiple things, and we don't have time to go like, oh, I'm just gonna get one of these back. Don't worry about it. We don't got time for that. Either put my whole exile pile back into my graveyard, or just don't. Okay. I think we're good. Ramp, stiflers, dredge, leaving the graveyard triggers, kicker derivatives, counter spells, fetch lands, and fog effects. Kind of figured that was the case. Yeah, no, that's fair. Many draw cards as well, with things that say we have no max hand size. Yes. Yep. No max hand size. 36 lands to delve away. Yeah. If we have any cards like Balustrade Spy that say like mill and lands, that would be pretty good. That would be pretty fine. MDFCs wouldn't be bad either. Well, I mean, like, I don't like the lands coming to play tap, but MDFCs that allow you to, like, cast an instant so it goes straight to your graveyard isn't the worst. I think, like, the green-black land does that. Life gain. We have life gain for what the commander wants. The commander wants life gain because we need to not die. That is what Taval is asking of us. Okay. Some graveyard recursion could also be nice, like regrowth in Genesis. Yeah. Right, because like if we mill exsanguinate, we want to get it back, yeah? So definitely card to hand. Not like recursion from card to battlefield, but definitely card to hand. Although creature to battlefield does mean that we don't take the cost of that creature. Okay. Alright, reanimation, so reanimation, yep. Okay. Myriad? We don't care about Myriad. X spells let you abuse the Delve. Exactly so, Karen. Alright, so chat. What does Taval, Virtue of something? Of Truth, want? Taval wants life gain, lots of generic pips, X cost, graveyard protection, and self-mill. And then what does the deck want in order to facilitate everything that Taval wants, right? Like that's why we asked this question. How do we make the deck facilitate everything that Taval wants here, right? And the list got really small. Don't worry about it. But the deck wants ramp, right? It wants stifles to protect Dredge and your graveyard. Dredge cards, right? It needs to be able to self-mill itself, and Dredge is kind of like one of the better ways to do it. Leaving the graveyard trigger, so if there's anything like a Conrad or whatever that, you know, triggers every time something leaves the graveyard, that's what we want in here. Kicker derivatives, so things that cost like an extra generic mana, or, you know, multiple generic mana, have a higher chance of like being well utilized in this Taval deck, because we can just exile the cards away. Counter spells, we do need to make sure that we need to make sure that we have protection in order to have this commander like actually start resolving things, because I think it'll be pretty whatever to begin with, because they'll just like, oh my god, you lose life when you do anything, and you know, people leave you alone until you start until you just start, you know. And then fetch lands equals one land onto the battlefield, and then one additional land in that's exilable. And then fog effects to make sure that we don't die when people counterattack us, which is wont to happen. No max hand size cards, and just a slight bit of reanimation, you know, just like a slight tad. Because we're not trying to save our entire deck from the graveyard, but we are trying to make sure that some key cards are saved. Okay. To Vulnerable the Truth, yep, it wants cards that allow you to play cards without casting them. Well, yeah, right, put card into play, right? That would be yeah, that would be kind of it. Alright. And then now, chat, we're on to the Moxfield part. Everyone's favorite part. Woo! The Moxfield part. Alrighty. So,